Hello, and welcome to Mike, DJ, and Doc, the show that plants seeds for cultivating new culture. Hello, and welcome back to the Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast. Hopefully, you've been doing well since you've been away. Hey, check it out, fellas. How y'all doing, DJ Cornerstone and Doc?
Man, grateful.
Grateful.
Good and grateful. Yes, indeed.
All right. I'm good. I'm glad to have y'all back because I know in episode 40 we stepped out the norm and did something with more of our Christian creative arts part where we had the cast from the play production that was held at Mount Zion, Weston's Joseph. So we did that interview in there, but I gave y'all shout out, so I ain't forget y'all.
I appreciate it, Mike.
I gave y'all shout out. Well, we done come down to the last episode we're gonna put out for the year 2023. And we got a powerful one packed for you today. We got some very special featured guests in, and we're going to get to them in 1 second. But we're talking about the art of the power couple. Now, most cases when you see power couples, you most names come to mind is what Jay-Z and Beyonce, power couples, and then you have other celebrities that have been noted to really vibe in business together and stuff like that. But we gonna get local here in Joliet because we got our own power couple right here in this town.
Yeah.
And we're gonna let y'all tap into what they do and what they bring to the table. And most of all, we're gonna let them explain to you about their business. They don't have a regular business, but they have one that's very popular. And it's very popular in this area and growing. All right, we want to welcome our very special guest, and it's Mr. Donald White Jr. and his lovely wife, Passion. They are the owners of the White, Smoke, and Ash Cigar and Hookah Lounge, located right here in Cresthill, Illinois. And what we want to talk to them about, because when I first met Mr. White back in March at an ABBA luncheon, which is what we talk about on here a couple of times, the African American Business Association, they had put together a luncheon where they had this panel of business owners in the Joliet area and surrounding, and they brought in all these different individuals from banks, from financial institutions, to all these different things, government places, to show businesses how to tap into capital. And at that luncheon, I had the opportunity of meeting Mr. Donald White here. Is it all right if I say Donald?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get called Donald, whatever you're comfortable with, but either one doesn't offend me.
Okay, cool. And, of course, Passion. All right. So I met Don and I spoke to Passion at this event, and we talked about coming on the podcast because on this podcast, we want to give our community an opportunity to meet some of the businesses that's going on in this area and to give them support because they, in turn, support this area by their contribution to the area. So at this time, I'm just going to set the table of what is most commonly thought of as a power couple. This is a couple who is portrayed not by the other person, but has a solid and strong ability to be an individual. And you know them on their own merits versus the merits of their partner. But at the same time, together they form a strong team due to their own individual accomplishments. So basically that says that they have different things that they bring to the table, and once united, it is grown into something exponentially bigger. So let's welcome Mr. Donald White and Passion.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So just let us know where you from, how long you been doing, and just let us know a little bit about you.
Okay, I'll let my wife start.
All right.
Well, I'm from Maywood, Illinois.
Okay.
Been living in Romeoville for over 20-some years. And oh, you said what? Oh, I'm sorry. And I worked at Board Warner Transmissions.
Really?
In Bellwood for over 23 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law used to work there years ago.
Oh,
Believe
okay.
it or not.
Okay, I probably know her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But we can talk about that offline.
Okay.
All right, Mr. White. How long? I mean, who are you, and how long you been doing what you doing, and where you been doing it at?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity. You know, I want to make sure I get those things out the way first to really thank you and your team for allowing this opportunity to take some time and really get to know each other and to really learn about our business. But I'm from Maywood as well. We met back when I was 16 years old. We've been around each other for a very long time. I'm 51 now. I'm a plant manager here locally in Johns Manville.
Okay.
I'm a plant manager that has a team of 6, Plant of 31 that I'm responsible for every day, their safety, their well-being. And my most proudest moment at that company is when I joined the Diversity and Inclusion Council. I am a proud member. I'm one of the long-standing members of the Diversity and Inclusion Council for Johns Manville, which is we owned by Berkshire Hathaway, so this is very important to me. So I'm really excited about the work that I do, the things that I learned there, and I'm actually using those things that they teach me as a plant manager and a person on the Diversity Inclusion Council. I use that every day in my business. We opened up White Smoke and Ash back in 2022, September 3rd, 2022. We purchased the building. We own the land. We own the building. We own the name. We own the likeness, and we're very excited about that. We don't have a mortgage on there. We own it free and clear.
Wow.
We did everything.
That deserves applause right there.
We took all our savings. We took all her 401 money. We retired her 2 years ago. Very proud to say that she was able to retire at 46 years old. Nice. We put all of our finances, time, and talent into this business, and it is what you see today.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. I tell you what, let's just start right there. We let's just start right there, because I know we swaying off a little bit, but wow, it's just the financial plan that you just spoke on. I don't know how many wives in this America would love to say that they have been retired by a plan that they put together with their spouse.
Yes.
I mean, that's amazing in itself. So, I mean, just to be able to step out there and take that risk, because it's a risk.
Yes.
It's a risk because, and see, some people, everybody's got business ideas.
Yeah.
Everybody is excited about business. But when it comes to, like Jay-Z said, we taking chances, y'all waiting on advances, right?
That's right.
So,
That's right. Great quote. That's a great quote.
So when you putting your own money in it and referring to Tyler Perry also, and you own it,
yes,
it's a big difference.
Yes.
It's a big difference. So, hey, I just commend y'all on that alone. That's success right there. If you don't do nothing else, you know what I'm saying? That's success right there.
Thank you.
Because that is huge.
And I have to. I'm good at reflective hearing. You said a couple things that I definitely want to touch on. The Tyler Perry, you just really mentioned him. We just watched his new documentary. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yes.
Oh man, this is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. And forgive me if I go down this rabbit hole, but I'm gonna bring it back.
Go ahead.
But that was so amazing. She put it on. I was like, I don't want to see that, and it actually pulled me in. And for him to do the things that he did, to go through the things that he went through, and to be successful in the way that he has. But he touched on a lot of things that really equate to our lives. And he talked about diversity and inclusion. He talked about challenges. He talked about being unfairly judged and been breaking through and going through all those things and still being successful. And these are the things that people don't even realize that really are a detriment to a business, that people are judging you unfairly. And you have to be prepared for that, because you will fail if you don't be prepared for those things that actually that are going to hinder you in being successful. And I'm really thankful that you acknowledge us as business owners, because what we did is not easy. And I would tell anybody, if you're not prepared for this mentally and you just have a business idea, you mentioned that as well, you have to be prepared for that idea that you have, because this idea, you can say it, but to do it is two different things. So I definitely want to just reflect on a couple of things that you said there, because I am listening and you are spot on the things that you just mentioned.
Oh, that's key, man. I mean, it's key because, like you said, putting the plan together, a lot of us throw ideas out there, but actually writing them out and putting the pen to paper and then putting the plan in action. And then, like you said, then now once you got that portion started, that still is just the beginning.
Yes.
That's still the beginning because see, like you said, it don't just happen overnight. And then it's times you have to be working that business when ain't nobody else around, ain't nobody else congratulating, nobody patting you on the back, and you staring at it the whole time saying, is this really gonna work?
I want to, not to cut you off, but I want to piggyback off what you're saying, because we can literally talk about each step that you talked about and have a show on its own, because we went through every single stage that you just mentioned. And those stages are just not surface. They are deep, because people doubted us. They laughed at us. We were so proud that we bought this building because we thought owning a piece of commercial property was the American dream. But when we showed people what we had, because it was an eyesore, to be honest, we bought this building without an inspection. We bought it without an architect. We did so many things on faith.
Yes.
And what's so great about this building, and you really have to come and see this building to appreciate what it really is. And especially we show in everything that we do, we walk the community on all the pictures. We showed them every step that we did. We showed them holes in the floor, and we showed them everything that we finished. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because people thought that we was not going to finish. We was doubted. We was laughed at. People did so many different things, but because the love that we have for each other, I could not fail her. I could not take her, could not tell her that we was going to do this, ask her, can we do this, and ask her to sacrifice her 401 money, her career, and then drop the ball. Can you imagine what that would have looked like?
Devastating.
But the amazing thing about it is, because we did get to the greater good, we actually closer. She trusted me with this, and she's seen a part of me in 23 years that she never even seen, and she appreciated me more by going through this thing, and I see it in her eyes every day.
Oh man, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that because I'm telling you that is the art of the power couple right there. That trust when it doesn't, when it's not even there. I'm telling you, we're gonna get into that a little bit. So I tell you what, we're gonna take a quick break here, and then we're gonna be right back on the Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by Silver Cup Investments.
Hello and welcome back to the Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast, where our special guest is Mr. Donald White Jr. and his lovely wife Passion, the owners of White Smoke and Ash Cigar and Hookah Lounge. All right, as we started talking before, they was tapping into an area that we were getting ready to go in, and that's that dynamic of that couple working together. And he already mentioned, Mr. White, what Don mentioned about how the faith of his wife into the vision and how that risk that they took and how it's paying off now. But we know that's not easy, because when you start putting faith in it, faith into business, it's a challenge because you can't see the outcome. But I tell you what, we started going down the path, so we gonna keep on that journey. Well, I was doing some research on you, and I came across this piece that was done by the Sisters of the Leaf. If you don't mind, just give us a little bit. What is the Sisters of the Leaf organization about?
Yeah, so Sisters of the Leaf is an organization that's really focused on women in the cigar industry. And they actually had an event at our lounge, and they really loved what our lounge, everything that it stood for, everything that we put into it. And not only that, they really gravitated to the fact that it was a husband and wife couple. So when we put this business together, we thought about, everything that we can do. We put her as the majority owner. She owns the majority part of the business because we wanted to make sure that everyone knows that it's owned by a minority, not only a double minority. She's a woman, and she's a black woman. So we did that. We did that on purpose to make sure that everybody knows that this business is owned by a powerful woman, and they really gravitate to the fact that she has a big voice in this. And then if anybody would speak about Sisters of the Leaf, it would be my wife, because she is one that did not know anything about this, but she got into this business without any knowledge of it and took hold of it and really shining in that. She's great at the things that she's doing, the things that she's learning, and she did not know any of these things. And in 15 months, she has been a rock star on the things that she have learned and doing.
Wow. Well, Passion, give us a couple of nuggets on some of the things that you done picked up that part being the owner.
so many things of meeting so many different people and talking to so many people that, come to me, saying that I inspired them. And, I never knew, how much I inspired them, but by them watching me, from the outside looking in and just seeing this shy person, you know what I'm saying,
I see.
not just seeing how I have blossomed and how, they call me boss lady, how I'm
Okay.
a boss now and own my own business, it's just inspiring to a lot of women, and
Coming out of that comfort zone, because like you said, when you said you're a shy person,
yeah,
but when you in boss position,
yeah,
but guess what? That puts you as a leader.
yes,
And so now
absolutely,
you saying they're looking up to you as a leader, and like you said, this is you walking it out in front of them.
yes,
And so yeah, that takes getting out of the comfort zone, and that's got to be a scary thought.
yes,
If you've been a shy person all the time, all of a sudden now you leading folks, that's got to be very scary.
it was, and it still is. I've done a lot of things that I never done before. We have done several interviews and stuff, and I never been the type of person that get up in front of people and talk. But the more I do it, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it. But my husband, he's a natural. He loves
Yeah.
talking.
No, she always tell me that, but I'm a middle child, so I always been one that try to defy the odds. I was always the one that got the blame, the ones that got the whooping. So to be a
Okay.
middle child, you have to learn how to work out of the toughest situations, and that's how I am. And just to piggyback and not to skirt over what my humble wife is mentioning, she has learned even the things about cigars that I don't even know.
Yeah.
She is the one that takes the customers inside the humidor, walk them through what the cigars are, what they do, what leaf they are. Those are the things that she did not know about. And I'm sure when she was in her career, she didn't even know that she would do these things. And it's a testament of who she is to be able to learn these things on the fly and to be able to be successful and to be able, people trust her judgment and they buy things and purchase things based off the recommendations that she offers them on a daily basis.
That's awesome. Because like you said, that's a challenge when you step into a world that you don't know.
Yeah.
And then like you said, your income depends on it.
Yeah. And if you asked her 5 years ago what she would be doing, I'm pretty sure she would have said still working at Borg Warner, not even ever thinking that she would be an owner of a cigar lounge, especially one that people tell her on a daily basis, like she said, one that is a great place, is a place that feels like home, and people tell her this is one of the best cigar lounges that they have seen in America. And if for us to, again, she interior designed everything. Think about that. She thought she had never been an interior designer. She went on Pinterest, she went on Facebook and took all these things and came up with the layout, came up with the pictures, came up with the gold accents, and people come in there. And again, that's why you're seeing magazines and things of that sort gravitating to this, because of the work that she put in and because they see how awesome it is and they want to be able to capture it in articles and things of that sort.
I tell you what, that is great. That is great. Because like you said, that's I just admire you stepping out like that. And really, because that's huge. But another thing in this article is the atmosphere. How do you go about creating that family atmosphere in the business where people feel welcome? Because if they come in there and they don't feel welcome, they ain't staying or they ain't coming back.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to foster that kind of environment in there.
Yeah, and I let my wife speak about the part that she really hones in, but I really hone in and I tell I'm really honing in on the diversity side of it. What people want to be able to do is to come in to a place and not feel it's catered to a certain person. I don't want to come into any place and say this is a black place, this is a white place, this is a Mexican place. You don't want to do that. This is a beautiful place, and beautiful, it covers every umbrella no matter what race you are. And when you come into our place, you don't know that it's a black place. You just know that it's an awesome place. And that atmosphere, a diverse atmosphere, is something that we practice on. We talk about the music, we talk about the furniture, we talk about everything, the cigars, all those things are catered towards everyone, not just black people. And that's very important. And that's why when people come in, they feel an atmosphere of comfortability because it's a diverse atmosphere. And that's what we push in every single day.
Oh wow.
And also too, when people come through the door, they feel welcome because first, when people come to the door, we greet them when they come to the door, and we talk to them. We ask them, "Is this their first time here?" And we try to get to know our customers. And a lot of people say, not all the time that you are able to talk to the owners, and
Right.
have that kind of, relationship with the owners where they can talk to, and and it's just the feel, how everything is in our place that, give people a sense of comfort and just welcome,
And belonging.
and belonging, the
Mm-hmm.
ambiance,
Mm-hmm.
from the lights to the furniture, and the music and the people that come into our place,
Okay.
and
I
No,
see.
that's very important what she just mentioned because
Mhm.
the other people make the other people feel good. So
I like
yeah,
that. I like that.
that's
The-
and that's amazing that she just pointed that out because that is true. It's and we only been open 14, 15 months, and it's so many relationships have been born from there. It's people that get together when we're closed. Those people all met each other from our lounge. It's so amazing, and that's really what we was chasing in the cigar industry is the sense of community. And again, the thing that I'm loving about it is just not black people. People of all races are getting
All
together
races.
and doing things, golf outings, going together, eating out, going to
Mhm.
their houses when we're closed. It's just so amazing to see this thing,
Mhm.
and we see how important being diverse and being a place that people not looking at color is very important to us and our customers.
See that network of individuals coming together. Those, like you said, from every walks of life.
Yes,
That's
yes,
yes,
that's huge because, like you said, it's all about when you're in business. No matter what business you're in, some form or way, it gets back to being about the people.
yes,
yes,
It gets
yes,
back being about the people. You're in business to serve the people.
yes,
exactly,
And
yes.
whether it be an atmosphere, whether it be cigars or whatever it be, you there to serve the people.
yeah,
And when they start coming in and they feel welcome and they start feeling like they belong, then that fosters, like I said, a return visit,
yes,
which also creates more people coming in.
absolutely.
I tell you what, that's good. I tell you what, we're gonna step right into another. We're gonna step into this question here. We're gonna talk more about the dynamic between the couples, the art of the power couple is what we're talking about.
Mhm.
So we're gonna talk a little bit more about the dynamics. In what ways would you say you empower one another?
Okay, so just to answer that question honestly, I think we empower each other by letting each other know that our love for each other is important.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is when we fail, and we have failed, we always lean on the love that we have. I know that she will never ever leave me because she loved me. And she empowers me by letting me know that I'm able to take risk, that I'm able to be able to step out on her love for me and take chances. Because even if I fail, that love will not go away. That's how she empowers me.
Mm. How would you empower passion?
So I empower her by letting her know that no matter what, I believe in her. I see
Mhm.
things in her that she don't even see in herself. I knew that the only way that this business would be successful is by bringing her into this business, by creating a business that she is comfortable with, learning and doing and growing. And she actually said something that I'll never forget that actually
Mhm.
turned the dynamic on the way direction we was going in on this business. She said, if I cannot do this business with you, I don't want to do it with anyone else. And that actually lit a fire under me to make sure that I do not fail her, to let me
Mhm.
know that I have to get this done because our relationship is really is counting on this to succeed.
Mhm.
And all those things that we have said and done actually help us to be able to have a successful business today.
Yeah, that is awesome because, like you said, it's gonna be times when one of the partners is gonna feel weakened. It's gonna come a time in the relationship, especially in the business. It's gonna come a part where stuff are falling apart, and someone's gonna be less than.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, when you start running into that, you have to have something that's gonna power you to overcome it.
Yeah.
And like you stated, with your love, just like my love for my wife, she allows me to step out and take chances, like with real estate and with different things with this podcast and all this stuff. And to be honest, I have had some stuff where I made some mistakes
Yeah.
and started out buying some real estate, ended up having to foreclose on some.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lesson learned and a lesson earned too.
Yes.
Because through those failures is where you learn the knowledge that you don't know.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's where you pick up the things you don't know. When you think you know everything and all the research you done,
Mm-hmm.
you still may come across something you just don't know.
Exactly.
And she allowed me to make that mistake.
And I don't know your wife, but I actually know mine. I know my wife. She's a good measure of what you learned in that mistake. So, it's so crazy. So you right. When I failed, if I took those failures and just poo-pooed them as nothing, she would not back that. But if I take those failures and be honest with those failures and tell her what I would do different the next time, then she will back me on those failures. So she's a good measure on what did you learn? Did you learn something from this? Are you going to be better from this? And she always asks me, what are you going to do different? What are you going to do different? And that's let me know that she's watching my actions from those failures. She's not holding me accountable to those failures that she's going to be a detriment to me, but she's actually saying, I'm not going to support you if you're not going to be better from that failure. And I really appreciate that.
Oh man, you touched on something else right there. The man sets the vision for the household. He sets the vision for the household.
That's true.
A true man.
Yeah.
That's right.
He lays out the plan for what the household is. And like you said, even though the spouse may not agree with it all,
Yes.
if she loves you enough to support you and you go through those failures and it puts you in a position to, guess what? You go to above average living.
Yes.
Because you didn't take the same common path, that you didn't stay comfortable.
Exactly.
That's true. And so think about this. Think about this, bringing it right back to White Smoking Ash in that business. I go to her and tell her and ask her, let's do this business. So in this asking, you got to say, you got to leave your job. You got to sacrifice your 401 that you saved for 23 years. You got to believe in something that we never did. You got to do stuff that you never did. You got to go and find out all this furniture, all this stuff. And she's going to say yes to that. Most people, when you get to about the third thing, they're going to say no. You understand? So just think about what kind of woman she is to listen to all these things, understand all these things are risk on top of risk. And she said yes. And that right there is so amazing, because she had to have the ultimate trust for me to be able to say yes to these things. Because if this building would, as soon as we closed on it, it would have collapsed. She would have been looking at me like, but she trusted in me.
And also too, I trusted God, because when he brought it to me about opening up a cigar lounge, I'm like, hold on, because a lot of times we want things, that we think that's best for us, but a lot of times it might not be what God wants us to have. And I'm like, let's go to God and pray about it and see if this is what he wants for us. Because if this is going to ruin our relationship, our marriage, our finances, our children, I don't want it. I don't want it, because and so he was like, you're right. And so we prayed about it, and it's just like God has just led us the way. It was just like a lot of things that we were trying to do on our own, trying to get loans and all of that. Everybody was saying no. He like, we totally, depended on God for everything. He supplied all our needs and made it happen, because this is what he thought would be best for us, to be stronger together, to grow, and to be able to bless other people in our community. So
yes.
yeah.
Doc, did you want to tap in on there?
Uh, well, I mean, that is excellent. The thing about it, because I just did a series this past week with a guy about men being intellectually sound and being able to make decisions. And, so listening to the couple here, and I talked about how you have to look at the history of a person's decision making. What happened the last time? Because when you marry someone, you don't only marry them, you marry the history of the decisions they have made
Mm.
as far as with people they bring in your life, baby mamas, babies, daddies, their credit history, their credit report, how they deal with money. Is their credit real bad? They can't get nothing. I'm connected to this person. Previous dealings with real estate. How do they pay bills? Are they responsible? Do they have a good work history?
Mm-hmm.
She mentioned she had a solid 23 years at Board Warner, you know, um, and so things of that nature. So that played a key pivotal role in couples and in any couple's life, the history of the decision making. Because
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're going to take it all and put it on the line, you know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that we have been responsible, both parties, because we putting it all on the line. I know
Mm-hmm.
what it is to open up a business, to start a church, a
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Where, it was all our money on the line, where refinance your home, get your equity out of it, doing everything. People don't understand the sacrifice.
Yes.
So my wife, and just like his wife had to trust my decisions. And many times that trust is based on history. It's like, I
Mm-hmm.
know he gonna
Yes.
be there.
That's
I
true.
know he don't screw over the money. I know he gonna make sure I'm straight if anything happen. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just want to drop that in. So that speaks
Mm-hmm.
volume of my brother. What's your name again, my guy?
Don.
You know what I'm saying? Of your ability to just be solid and not a double-minded man. Because if he was unstable in all his ways, man, y'all wouldn't be sitting here today. His wife be like,
That's
I ain't
right.
having
That's
nothing to do
true.
with that. I see right now. No, I love you, baby, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But because you were sound in your judgment,
That's
sound in
true.
your thinking, you knew where you were going. You know what I'm saying? You did your homework on that cigarette lounge, which that is a very popular thing in Atlanta and down here in the areas that I'm in. That's a money making machine.
Mm-hmm.
Wendell was down here in this area. You mentioned earlier, so I mean, it's very popular. So hey, I just want to leave that right there. But that speak volume, and just know men, our decision making has history connected to it,
Mm.
and it will
Mm.
have history.
No,
Yeah,
and I thank you for that, Pastor, for being able to, to put that in that format. And I really think about a word that they use at my job a lot, and they talk about credibility. And
Mhm.
people don't
yeah,
really understand what credibility means. And when you, like you said, Pastor, when you show that you have been a good steward, a good decision maker, you show your wife that you have credibility to do these things. The
Mhm.
credibility is what she believes in. So if you didn't
yeah,
fumble the ball, if you didn't drop the ball, your credibility is shot, and she's
Mhm.
not going to believe in you because you have not been a good decision maker, but good credibility. And people have to understand you have to do what you say you're going to do, and
Mhm.
you have to do it on a consistent level. You just can't make a mistake and do it once. You got to show them over and over and over. And that's even if you fall. The credibility of getting up each time you fall gives you credibility that you can get up at any time. And that's
Mhm.
very important.
Yeah, I tell you
yeah.
what people don't realize in spouses what they need. Okay, you mentioned love.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned trust. But one of the things that we hardly ever talk about that a wife needs from her husband is security.
Yes.
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 It's security.
Yes.
So, like you said, in your situation where she trusted you and you kept proving yourself over and over,
Hmm.
that grew security in her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I definitely want to jump in right here. But
Go
what
ahead.
I seen, and
Mhm.
this is what I would tell any couple, by she seeing that security that I provided, it brought her closer to me.
Uh-oh.
This is how our relationship has never, ever been this good. Ever. And I'm not just telling you what we say to each other, is how we touch each other, how we look at each other. And those things have grown because, again, that sense of security has strengthened and it
Mm-hmm.
has risen. And she see it and she loves me more for that sense of security. And you totally right about that, brother.
Mhm. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's powerful right there. That's powerful.
And that bond right there, what a lot of people want, what you just mentioned, a lot of couples, but they have nothing sacrificed. Where y'all let that bond right there is because of sacrifice and putting it on the line. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you sold for that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want that overnight. No, you sold for that. And
Mm-hmm.
that bond gets strengthened over time because you got so much invested in one another. And
Mm-hmm.
then you built something. And
Yes.
anytime you build something together, you know what I'm saying? That's where the power comes in at. And the unity of love in that bond, becomes unbreakable. I mean, man, oh man.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
and that's man, you
I'm
spot
with you, man.
on that, Pastor. And it's so
Yeah.
crazy. We did some research yesterday just to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
We looked up what Google says is a power couple, right? We
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a little prepared for this, so just to really look at what a power couple is viewed as is really interesting. But it's so amazing. But it talked about some things that we actually said before we looked it up. To be a power couple and to say you're a power couple is two different things. If we say we're a power couple, now we putting a target on our back for people to try to tear that down.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't say we're a power couple. People say we're a power couple, and we will embrace that, but we will not say it, because what people want to do when you become a figure of power, people want to tear that down, especially in our community, and they want to shake the tree to see where it's weak. And if you say that you're a power couple, people will try to tear at your relationship to try to prove that you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so amazing that you mentioned that, because they spoke about that. Do people look at you in a position of envy? And if they do, they're going to try to tear that down.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say that you're a power couple, if I just went out and put a post up and say, I am a power couple, it's going to be somebody that read that's going to say, I'm going to show you're not. And that's very important. And we looked into that. And the reason that I wanted to bring that up, because that was one of your questions. And it said, how you ever you framed it, it talked about how us being a power couple, and that's a very that deserves a
Mm-hmm.
podcast on itself,
Mm-hmm.
because if you look at all the power couples, you actually named a couple. Look at all the things that they go through. Look at all the things that people do to try to tear them down.
Oh.
Look at all
Mm-hmm.
they even brought up Jay-Z's history. Beyonce, and that's all because they're that quote unquote power couple. And
Mm-hmm.
that's such a shame, because people should be taking power couples and learning from them and try to say, I want my relationship to be that. They
Mm-hmm.
actually try to tear you down so they can have an excuse for making and saying, this is why my relationship is nobody's perfect and nobody is a power couple, and that's why they're not one. It's so
Mm-hmm.
that's really amazing that we looked in it that way.
Mm-hmm. That's nice you bring that up about having the target on your back, because, like you said, when you look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, they got targets on their back.
Mhm.
Barack and Michelle Obama, another
Will and
one.
Jada.
Will and Jada. I mean, they always facing opposition to try to destroy their integrity of what they have built
Yes.
over and over.
So ask yourself this: if they were not viewed or said anything about a power couple, would they have those same darts coming at them? And I would say no, they would not.
No.
They would not. And that's the scary part about this. And that's the reason that we really lean on each other. And because we don't even look at titles. We look at what we love, how we love each other. And that's the thing. People are going to say what you are. Some people might say we're a power couple. A lot of people do. But some people might say we're the worst couple in the world. But we cannot be in between that. We got to understand what we are. And that's very important. So that's why we really looked at that question, and we studied that question, and really looked at how the world looked at that question, because I do think that question has a lot of layers on it, and it's very important to understand where you are in your relationship when people do say that you are a power couple.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Good thought right there. I tell you what,
Interesting.
I'm going to move on into our next question here. A common misconception is that power couples solely rely on each other. Is it possible that you supply everything that each other needs? I mean, from top to bottom, you supply everything, because, like you said, with power couples, sometimes they individuals that come together that bond, but do that one person supply everything that you may be missing?
Now we actually, again, we went through each one of these questions just to be prepared, and again, I want to make sure that my wife, is prepared mentally for these questions that will come.
Sure.
We looked at this, and we do understand that we cannot. It's just impossible to provide every single thing. So do you consider each other in everything you do? Yes. But can you provide everything for your spouse? No, you cannot. Because she understands and I understand that it's other people that depend on me. Like for me being a plant manager, it's important that I'm available for those people that I'm responsible for. And she understands that. I travel for my job. I do a lot. I train for my job. I present for my job. I do so many things. And if everything I did was surrounding just only her, I wouldn't have the mental capacity to do these things. But because she's flexible and understand that I do have a career and I do take time that when I do travel, I bring her in. She's been to some of the best places in the world due to my job. But that's considering her, but not making everything all about just solely about her. I think that she would be sort of selfish, and I would be sort of selfish if I wanted me to be just everything and she solely just surrounded her life around me would be kind of selfish.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back on the Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your brother in the footwork, DJ Cornerstone, and you are listening to the Mike, DJ, and Doc Show.
All right, family, welcome back to the Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast, where we are sitting here with Mr. Donald White Jr. and his lovely wife, Passion, from White, Smoke, and Ash, Cigar, and Hookah Lounge. All right, we've been having some good conversation talking about the art of the power couple. We're getting ready to get into another question here, and this question is, how do you prioritize quality time over money? Because check it out, in the business, you got to be making money. And we know the business never stops. But how do you prioritize to get that quality time in?
First of all, let me tell you, that is a great, great question. And we actually excited that you asked that question, because if you look at the dynamics of our business and our relationship, they actually intertwined. Mm-hmm. And I get to spend so much time with her because of this business. This business, we spend day and night together. Then we go home and go to sleep together, then come back the next day and be together at the lounge. So our quality time is really, really both of them. It's business time and it's quality time, because it's times where not one customer comes in there. But we still was able to spend that time together. So our quality time is being, I would say, satisfied because we have that business. And that's so awesome. We get to eat together. We get to have dinner. And if I was working or had my own business, say I was a landscaper, I would not be able to have that kind of quality time with her. I would not be able to have the number of dinners that we have together by having this business. So we actually know that because of the business, we are close. And these are the things that we recognize and we're very excited about by working together.
And also, too, we close one day during the week, which is Wednesday, and we use that time to go out. We'll go out to dinner or somewhere where we've never been before and spend that quality time together.
Yeah, and then you asked about the money as well. And being owners, this is what we actually spoke about yesterday. A great example of what you just asked just happened at the beginning of December. We took 4 days off. We actually closed the business. And when you close the business, you lose money. We had customers calling, people upset, why you close? But we took that time. I wanted to introduce her to the cigar, how the cigar culture is in other cities. So I took her down to Tampa. We went down to Ybor City. We went to the Black Heritage Fest. And we decided to say, we're going to do this together. She never had experienced that. So we decided to lose money, to say money is not important, but her learning, her being better in the business is, and that's what we do. We actually took that quality time over making money. So we lost 4 days of income for her to be better in what she needed to learn and see.
Wow.
Great investment. It was a win-win.
That's right. That's right.
I'm telling you. Because, like you said, man, that's beautiful in itself, because you get to experience some new stuff together, along with increasing the business.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
and then you look at the B part of that is that being an owner, to be able to absorb 4 days of closing, not many businesses could actually say they can do that.
Mhm.
And that just let us know we in a great space to be able to say we won't make $1 for 4 days, but we spending time together, you learning, we able to spend that time and you learning. That's just awesome within itself.
Mhm.
Most business would collapse if you closed for 4 days and didn't make $1. We was able to get back
Oh, yeah.
and did not miss a beat. And that speaks volume. And again, that's the part of not having a mortgage.
I was just going to
oh,
say
yeah.
that's the brilliance of that. That's the brilliance of having
Yes.
not
That is
having that kind of overhead.
That's right. That's right.
That's the brilliance of that.
That is.
Yes.
And that's what I tell my wife, because so many people try to lead us down a path. Oh, now you could take money out of the business. You can do so many things, but we're not going to do that. I said we want to make sure that we're able to do these things and not being strapped for money, not being governed by having to make money is very important in decision making.
Oh, man, that's so powerful, because see, that takes a lot of the stress off.
Yes.
Because I'm throwing myself out there, even producing this podcast and then my real estate business, stuff like that. And I don't pull out any money for me as far as income.
Okay,
None of it.
good.
None of, because I actually went and sat down with a financial guy
Mhm.
and I laid it all out there. And he said, "You don't pay yourself a salary for running these properties?" I said, "No, I don't." He said, "So basically you just put it in there and then I reinvest it in the business."
Mhm.
That's all I do. I just, whatever comes in, because I still work full time.
Me too.
Like you mentioned, you still work full time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not looking to draw any money out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to build that.
Exactly.
Because eventually I want to build that till it stands on its own.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
And see, like I
Yes.
say here, and this wasn't part of the question, but we're gonna step right
That's
into
right.
it.
That's right.
This is like setting up legacy for the future.
We just spoke
This
about
setting
that.
up legacy for the future.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you say you mentioned you got kids.
Yes.
Guess what? You eventually you're gonna get older. This business, if it turns into be a big success like it
Yes.
is, and to keep going it,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's gonna be something that you're gonna have to pass on to the next generation.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
And for them to come in, first of all, with the mortgage free, I'm telling you, especially coming in with that,
Mm-hmm.
that takes the stress off of passing it down. Because I'm gonna tell you what happens
is
in
true.
most cases with things that are passed on to the next generation. First
Yes.
business.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
First of all, if you don't give them an out in the business, it might go down.
Yes.
Or if you give them something that they don't want,
That's
first
right.
thing they're gonna do is sell it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So if you make it less stressful
That's
for
right.
them to take it on and manage it,
Yes.
it's a good chance for it to carry on.
And
Yes.
you 1000% right. And this is the world that's being created for our children, is that drama. Our kids don't do well under stress. And because they're not, everything that we're doing from there, they didn't grow up like we did. We knew how to absorb stress. We knew how to build our stress. Our children run from stress. And not saying everybody children, but what I'm saying is that these kids, it's no accountability to stress. We were stressed out. If my mother was upset with me, I knew she was gonna come home and she was gonna put that belt on me. That was stress. But our kids, we don't even whoop our kids 9 times out of 10 because society say, well, that's a form of this, that's a form of that, and because of that, they start forming a mind of I don't want. So when you give them something, if it's got too many stress levels on it, they gonna give it up. They gonna say I don't want this business because it's too stressful. And our children have to give them something that's seamless. To say that as soon as they plug in, they picking it up just like you ran it, and that's what they want, and that's the only way they gonna run with the ball.
Absolutely, man. Because you're right about that. Because if they have to do anything other than just manage it,
It's gone.
it's gone.
It's gone.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, everything that you invested into to build it up for them is gone too.
It's gone
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
All the work that we did will be gone.
It's gone too.
And that's
on
that's
top of that, you lose the community that you developed.
yes. And
Which is
and going back to what you said, sorry to cut you off, is exactly what you said. Is that you have to make it to where it's just like that. That is being able to be handed off, being able to grab, and nobody wants to sell it. You want your kids to say, I want to keep this going. And the only way they're gonna keep it going if it's not causing them any issues. And I know that about my children especially.
Right.
absolutely. I tell you what, I'm talking about one more thing here where we talking about finance, because when we start getting into finances and businesses and different things like that. Like you said, one of the things in our community, and I believe this wholeheartedly, I don't know how y'all parents are in this thing, but I faced it with my parents and probably some other parents. We have a big problem with transferring wealth to the next generation. For some reason, we do not want to sit down and do all the necessary preparation for setting up trust funds, setting up wills, putting all the documents together in one place and stuff like that. And we find ourselves after the seniors pass on, and then the siblings come together, everybody's fighting over what's this, that, and the other. And then the first thing you get at a funeral, somebody want to get up there and say, we need to stop fighting and coming together. And you know why? Because the one that just in the casket didn't set it all up.
Yeah.
And everybody is fighting over what was, when all they had to do was say, look, this is how I want this laid out. This is what's for y'all. This, that's the other. It's not like the next generation gonna take it from you. I don't know if it's something that inherited down through the years, but setting it up and putting it in the proper perspective so that easily somebody can come in and plug and play without the stress of fighting one another, and you can come together at the funeral and mourn instead of fight about what's left over.
Yes.
Well, we definitely this if it was going to be a B part to this, it'd be a B, C, D, E, F, G part.
Right.
And just to be honest, man, because I have so many examples of everything that you said, and what I'm really learning, and even when we was going through the financial part of what we were doing with the building, is that we as a people now we can talk about black and white and this and that now, because some of these discussions, and being in diversity, you can have these discussions because these are what we call hard conversations.
Yes.
And having this hard conversation is something that we really run from. This, what you just described, is actually a learned behavior. And somebody have to literally teach you how to do these things. Will, trust, all the insurance. Other races, they actually build financial wealth after they die because they have such big, large life insurance policies. They have million, $2 million, $5 million life insurance policies. We have 5,000, 10,000 cremation policies, and that's all we have. And so when you die, you're gonna pick up bills. You're not gonna pick up wealth, and again, that's a learned behavior.
Wow.
We have not had people see this is, and again, this goes back that 400 years that we had. We learned some things that really hurting us for the next 400 years, and we have to teach to get out of that. And what I mean by that is that all our ancestors knew is work. They didn't know learning. You understand? That's very important, because now somebody has to stop that ball from rolling downhill and teach it something to roll another way. And that is very difficult. And that is what you're seeing. And that is why the parents, and I just had this not less than a year ago, a father that only worked, that thought he was doing everything right by paying bills, but when it came to burying him, nothing was in place. Nothing. We had to go to probate. We had to do this. He loved his children. He thought but nobody told him, Donald White Sr., you got to put your children on here so they don't have to fight over your finances at the end of the day. You got to put your house in somebody as a beneficiary so they could be able to sell this house. That's a learned behavior. And we have to be better at teaching our children this, and then and the people before us, we had to tell them where they missed on that.
Absolutely. I tell you. I tell you, you hit the nail on the head with that, because I done been through it too. I done been through it too, and like I said, fortunately for my wife and I, we have sat down and done a lot of that paperwork and got that stuff in order. And we want to encourage our family that's listening to this. If you don't pick up anything else from this podcast, learn how to get your business papers for your home in order.
Yes.
Not just your business, but for your home in order, for your family that is going to be left behind to deal with it, so that they can be prepared to go on a step ahead of where you left them.
Yes, you got it. And I would think the easiest and the best way to say this is we have to teach each other, teach our children how to build once we gone, not to fall once we gone. See, that's the difference, because like I said, other races build once their parents pass. They build off that. What we do is we clean up their stains once they're gone. And that's exactly what I had to do when my father passed away. So I spent a lot of money cleaning up stains while I should have gained from his passing to build for the future. And that didn't happen. And again, that's what I would tell anybody. Like you said, get your finances in order, get your paperwork in order, get your life insurance in order, because it's policies out there that your children could benefit from, that they would not have to fight over each other when you pass away, or talking about who's going to pay for this, urn, who gonna pay for this casket, and things of that sort. All that'll pay for itself, and then they have something to build on once you leave. And that's what we have to learn from each other.
All right, thank you. I mean, thank you for that. That was so powerful. That was so powerful. I tell you what, we're gonna take our last break here, and then Doc, we'll be back with There It Is, and then we're gonna let our guests sign us out with whatever you got coming up that you would like the public to know about you, and then we're gonna wrap this up. We thank you for tuning in to the Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Hey, today we get ready to wrap up today's show. We just want to bring a scripture reference from Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 and 10. It says, two people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. And if one person falls, the other can reach out and help. And we just, as we look at today's show and dealing with the art of a power couple, and just the power of just the two becoming one. You know, the scriptures say, you know, the two become one, and that's power within itself. And the power is the third person within the power, and that's God. He said, God has joined together, let no one put asunder. And so that's where the power comes from. You know what I'm saying? You know, God is the source of the power for the couple. And as we look at this today and just look at the strength of all this, you know, it's being able to have someone to grow old with, to have someone to support you and to encourage you, to share your day with, to share your dreams with. Deuteronomy 32:20 says, one can chase 1,000, but two can put 10,000 to flight. Just imagine what you and your spouse could do when y'all come together. The power of agreement. How can two walk together except they agree? And we just want to encourage couples today that are listening to this, and you got ambitions, you got passion, you got goals, you want more. You got to tap into this power. My, you got to let God begin to heal you and to restore you and just bring the two together, because truly two are better than one. It's a great reward for our labor. And there it is.
All right, thank you, Doc, for that. There it
Glory
is.
to God. You're welcome.
Well, Don and Passion, from the Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast, we want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule for coming in and sitting down with us and discussing this topic, the art of the power couple. Because truly, whether you claim it or not, you are a power couple.
Thank you.
And I wish you much success in the future and for your legacy
Thank you.
and what you're doing in this community.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to leave with our listeners, our families, of how they can reach you, contact you, or support your business?
Yes. Thank you. Definitely, again, like we started off, we want to say thank you for this opportunity. And what I got out of this, most of all, that this is confirmation that my wife and I are on the right road. We are doing the right things as a couple. We're doing the right thing in the sight of God, because He would not allow these opportunities if we were not doing the right things. And this podcast is definitely confirmation to that. And I definitely want to thank you for reaching out and being the vessel that confirms that. That is very important to us, to make sure that we are doing things that the community can acknowledge and see, and people can gravitate to, and something that can help people be better. And that's what I told my wife. We not selling cigars. We are selling a mission, and we are on a mission for people to be better. So if you want to visit White Smoke and Ash, we're at 2301 Plainfield Road in Cresthill. We're open every day except Wednesday. We open at 1 a.m. on Saturday and Friday. That is our busiest days. You will have a great experience. You will meet great people, and you will become part of the family if you do come there. So again, please come and see us. We have a great fight in front of us. Just know that it's not all rosy. We are fighting. I'm not fighting right now. We're working with the city to try to get our BYOB permit. It is something that's hindering the business. We are one of the very few lounges, if not the only lounge in Illinois that's not allowed to do this. And we want to make sure that this is not driven by different things. And I'm ready to have those hard conversations because of the things that I have learned in diversity and inclusion, being on that council, to understand that these unconscious biases we're going to address. We're going to make this community better because we're going to have these hard conversations. We want to make sure that we address the microaggression because we see in those things, allyship, because that's very important. And those are the things that I'm ready to speak about. So again, it's been over 2 years we've been fighting for this. We have proven that we've been doing good business by not having not one single incident of police interaction at White Smoke and Ash. That's unheard of. To never have a police even be there. We have had events of hundreds of people and never have any police interaction. That is a testament of the business we run and the respect that we have for the city, and we want that to be rewarded and we want that to be appreciated. And we are going through some heavy things right now. I'm grateful and I'm blessed to have a sister that's a lawyer, and she's fighting every day, and a wife that understands my passion is not anger. My passion is something that I really, really hone in on, and I want to be able to be better from that. So again, I'm excited. I think this is a great opportunity for us to do things in the future, and I'm really excited about that.
Thank you. You want to tap on that, Passion? He done said it all.
He done said it all.
Again, we thank you for listening to the Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast. And we will also want to let you know Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you next year with our next episode.
Mike.
Yes.
Yeah. And before we go, if you are in the Joliet area, I will be there. If you want to come out and meet Doc of the Mike, DJ, and Doc show, this coming Sunday on the 24th at St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church. Can you give them the address, Mike? And for meet and greet.
All right. The address is St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church, 1404 South Briggs Street. Again, that's 1404 South Briggs Street, and that's Joliet, 60433. Service starts at 10:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. We love to see you in the place. Come meet Doc, y'all.
Yeah, and Mike. Maybe DJ can slide by.
Hope so.
Take a picture.
All right. Thank you again for tuning in, and be blessed. If you have any questions for Doc, DJ, or Mike, please go to MikeDJandDoc.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. New episodes released on the 7th and 21st of each month. Matthew 25:40, Good News Translation, the King will reply, I tell you, whenever you did this for one of the least important of these followers of mine, you did it for me. We leave you with this question, am I helping at least one person? The Mike, DJ, and Doc podcast is brought to you by Silver Cup Investments, recorded at Audio Hive Podcasting.